Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're here with a guest today. This is Adnan, otherwise known as Mr. Addy. We've already done a video for his channel where he interviewed me about my journey, so you can go click the link in the description and go and subscribe to him and also watch that video. But today we will be interviewing him on my channel as well. So just to introduce him, he is a very experienced merch by Amazon seller. He's also the founder of Merch Dominator. So I'll be asking him questions about that basically. So thank you so much for coming on the channel.
You're very welcome, Tia. Much appreciated. I have to say, I really enjoyed, our podcast on my channel. Really good insights. You've really benefited a lot of people with your value that you gave on that video. Great, inspiring journey. I'm really looking forward to be on your channel and answer any of your questions. And I'm sure it's going to go really well.
Yeah, so first question is, can you explain your story and how you got started with like print on demand, e-commerce, all this lovely stuff?
Right, God, big story. So the story
From the
starts
beginning.
from the beginning, right? Okay. So I'm half English, half Moroccan. I was born in
Okay.
Morocco and never came to England until 2004. So I came to England in 2004 so that I can continue my education. So I got basically the equivalent of A-levels,
Yeah.
but it's basically 1 year less than that. It's called the baccalaureate, Moroccan baccalaureate, which is like BTEC, right?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, equivalent of BTEC. So you have to do 1 more year to reach A-levels. So I came here with the view to continue my studies and go to university and then do the whole shebang of, getting good grades and doing internship and then getting a nice job and yada, that path. But I've always thought, I wanted to have my own business at some point. So I came here and the reality was completely different from what was painted in my head. I thought that just because I have a British passport, I would be able to get, free education, free everything. I'd be able to get a house and all of that. That's what I was thinking, because that is the kind of perception of Europe, in Morocco and places like that. So I had to learn the hard way. I had to work in very hard jobs, like cleaning and working in the market. I worked as a kitchen porter, all sorts of things. Worked as I was started kind of like, getting better. I worked as a delivery driver because I had to do my driving license. And that took time and effort and money to kind of achieve. And then I worked as a bus driver. I worked as a DJ. I did all sorts of things. And at the same time, I was studying. I had to study English from scratch. I couldn't speak English properly. And it took time to kind of understand and communicate with people. And just so I can go to university, I had to do IELTS, which is, I don't know if you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Which is an English qualification which allows you to go to university. It's a prerequisite if you're a foreigner or a speaker of another language as a first language. So I had to go through so many hoops just so I can go to university. And I had to study during the day and I had to work at night just so I can afford to rent and eat and, just do all the things that most people take for granted. Because I didn't have anyone that would hand me, a helping hand. I didn't get any loans. I didn't do anything, I
Oh, you
didn't
had no
find basically any help.
loans? You
No
had no
loans
student
whatsoever.
loans?
No,
That's
everything
crazy.
I achieved, I had worked for so hard. So I worked during the day and during the night and studied during the day, just so I can do that. So I couldn't
Wow.
sleep, basically. At some point, I would
Yeah.
sleep 1 hour, 2 hours a day max. And on Sunday, I'll probably sleep like 8 hours, right? Sometimes I would even work on Sunday. So then
Make
I
up
would
for
sleep
it.
like 5 hours, 4 hours, and make up for, yeah, it was very hard. Like now I'm thinking about it. How did I do that? Necessity. Like when you're subjected to certain circumstances, you're like, you have no other choice. So anyway, long story short, 2012, I got my master's degree in international business management. So basically, what, 8 years went past just like that, working, studying, just so I can keep myself afloat. I got my master's degree and I thought to myself, okay, now is the time to reap all the fruits of my studies and all my hard work. Now I'm going to start looking for a job that's going to, make me basically live comfortably and stuff like that. And at the time, you had these graduate schemes paying you 24,000, 24K a year. And I started applying to this company, that company, that company. And I was faced with rejection after rejection after rejection. A lot of the time, I wouldn't even go through the interview process. I'm like, what is wrong? Is it me, or is it the competition, or what is it? I've got a master's degree, for God's sake. They've promised us work. They've promised us all these things. And for a year, I was failing at getting a job. I didn't get the job that I really wanted, like the sort of jobs that I wanted, the jobs that would give you that career progression, with big companies and stuff like that. So I started thinking, I need to think outside the box. I need to get into a job that will allow me to develop personally as well, not only do a certain job. I thought to myself, I'm going to do a sales job. And I was passionate about, because obviously sales, you can use it later on. You can use it to convince people. You can use it to get people to buy off you. You can use it to earn
Yeah.
commissions. Sales is one of the best jobs you can do. So I decided, what do I like? I like to go to the gym. I like to be sporty. I like to work out. I like to keep fit and healthy. So I decided to work for a big health club company. You probably know it's one of the biggest luxurious health club companies in the UK, and they have branches in Europe as well. So I worked as a sales consultant, basically selling memberships to people who are looking to get fit and basically find a club for them as a couple, as a single, or as a family, bringing their kids, because it basically had everything: gym, um, you know, spa, sauna, tennis, all sorts of things. And I did not know how to talk on the phone like in a sales way, and to basically do the job as it should be done and have that vibe of a salesperson. It was all new to me, but I had already the background of my university and the dedication, the hard work, and the fact that I jumped over so many hoops. So I knew I could do it. I just didn't have the experience yet. So I went through their training, did well in the training, came back, started shadowing some salespeople, and some of them were laughing at A, my accent, B, how I was talking to customers. It was different, right? When you don't have the experience, it is different. You have to learn it from scratch. So I went home and I made a pact with myself. I am going to prove all of them wrong, and I am going to make sure that I become number one seller on my first month that I start selling. I'm giving you this background story to show you what is behind all this motivation, what is behind all of this perseverance, and doing whatever it takes to achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. Because you've come from nothing. What do you have to lose? Nothing, right? You just have to keep doing what you need to do, keep doing the needful to succeed. So I went every single night in front of the mirror, and I started talking to myself as if I'm talking to myself as a customer, or even talking to the mirror as if the mirror is a customer, and applying all of the training. Long story short, My first month, my target was 45 sales, right? By the second week, by the end of that second week, I achieved my 45 sales. And by the end of the month, I achieved 95
Oh, wow.
sales. And I was number one seller. And who's laughing now? They were laughing in the beginning,
Who's
and now they're
laughing now?
asking me, how did you, and now they're asking me, how did you do it? You cheated. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, check all my paperwork, check everything. And I'm just laughing there. How did you do it? Right? So one lesson I learned from this, don't ever listen to people that put you down. It's okay. They will do that because they hate you. They see a potential in you they don't see in themselves. They're trying to be you, but they can't do it. So they have to put you down, right? So basically from there, I kept going. After 2 years, I became number one in the company all over Europe as well. And after 2 years, I became sales manager. And then after that, they started asking me to go and look after bigger clubs and train sales managers and all of that. Great, but I realized that I wasn't going to stay in that company because I thought I could do much better. And the only way forward is to basically wait until one of your bosses leaves, and then you can basically replace them. And that would probably take too much time, and it's not something I was
Okay.
prepared for. So I decided I'm going to
Yeah.
look for a job as a regional manager, because then I had the industry experience, I had the sales experience, I had the team management experience, and I knew people in the around my network that could potentially help me achieve that. So one day, one of the girls I used to work with, she used to be another sales manager as well with the company. Uh, she said, "Hey, Adnan, the company I'm currently working for is looking for a regional manager. You basically have 40 centers that you'd be looking after with their teams and all of that. They did office space." I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Checked out the commissions, salary, all seemed pretty good. So I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let me do it." So I got that job, but I hated it. I hated the fact that it was, you had to really be cutthroat. I didn't like the cutthroat nature of that job. There was no teamwork with. So basically, as a regional manager, you have to be cutthroat to the other regional managers. There's no like teamwork, and there's no your friends but enemies at the same time. I didn't like that. I didn't
Yeah.
like the culture of the company, so I decided it's not for me. But I was working really, really hard, earned really good commissions. My team delivered great results, but I didn't see myself working there long term. So I decided to go on holiday to Dubai with my wife, and we had a great time. 2 weeks was one of the best 2 weeks of my life. At the time, it was my best holiday at the time, and I saw a different lifestyle. And I asked myself, could I achieve this lifestyle working for this company? Having the time freedom. I was working, for God's sake. I was working like 60 hours a week. Like, I was working really hard. It was too much, not worth it. So I came back with the idea that I'm going to, resign, which I did, right? So I literally resigned as soon as I came back. But one thing I missed to tell you is that, around, throughout this whole experience of working for companies and studying and all of that, I had in mind that I wanted to have my own business. So
Hmm.
back in 2008, 2009, I did eBay, I sold in the market. I did so many things that you could class as entrepreneurial, because I'm looking for a different way out, because I didn't believe in working for other people. And back in 2016, got into drop shipping, did okay, but it wasn't enough to kind of make me quit my job.
Yeah,
And
it's
something
hard
happened,
with drop
you know what I
shipping.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, and at the time, because you have to like constantly watch ads, constantly do various
Yeah.
different things that demand so much time from you, so I wasn't able to do that. And yeah, I take full ownership, I take full accountability. It was my fault. I didn't find a way to fit the two. I don't blame dropshipping, I don't blame anything, I blame myself, because I'm all about self accountability. Then I did FBA, back then what we used to do, and I've always thought I'm going to come back to, to work for myself and do something else. Basically, the end goal for me was to have my own business somehow. I did FBA, so we used to get discounted products from like Argos and, TK Maxx, all these places where you can find cheap products that is selling really well on Amazon, but at a
Retail
cheaper price.
arbitrage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
retail arbitrage. And at some point we even did online arbitrage, where you would order the item in and then repackage it, do the whole stickers and stuff like that, and send it to the fulfillment center of Amazon. It was so much work. It was so much work, and I was working at the same time for these companies. And you can only do it during your off time, and it was just so demanding. So made some money from that, but it was never something to write home about. Then in 2017, around about May, June time, I heard one of these people that I used to follow, on Amazon. He used to talk about not merch by Amazon, for FBA, fulfilled by
FBA,
Amazon. And he was talking about merch by Amazon. He said that you don't have to do any of this hassle of FBA. You can just design and basically put a price, upload onto a T-shirt, and when you get a sale, you make a profit, you make a royalty. I'm like, okay, that sounds much better than FBA. What's required? You just get a design and upload.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but to say like one of the hardest parts I feel with FBA and even FBM is like the inventory management, and like merch on demand just completely gets rid of all the inventory worries.
Gets rid of everything. And even no capital invested. You have to invest capital in FBA. I remember, I used to spend like 3, 4, 5K in stock, and some of it wouldn't sell. Some of it, they would return it, and you get nothing for that. So much capital investment with very little return. You have to scale so hard with so much money on the line to actually make decent money, with FBA. Especially what we used to do, retail arbitrage. So I decided, no, it's not for me. So I was like, Merch by Amazon sounds really, really good. At the time, it used to be called Merch by Amazon. Now it's called Amazon Merch on Demand. It's the same thing. They just changed the name. So I applied, and then I waited a little bit, completely forgot about it. And then I saw another video of Merch by Amazon. I was like, okay, I applied for Merch by Amazon. Let me see if I got accepted. And I saw that my application was actually approved. And then I started learning how to actually work in this business. Now I've got an account. What do I do? So I went and bought a design from Fiverr, two designs. One of them was about deer hunting. I uploaded it and completely forgot. And you have no idea how I did it. I literally, when I look back at the quality of design, the quality of listing, it was horrendous. Didn't know much about keyword research, didn't know much about how to write bullet points and how to convince customers to buy from you and all of that. And it sold. And the royalty on that was $7 on one design.
Yeah, and that's crazy because I feel like with like Redbubble and Etsy, it's sort of like a similar situation. Like back in like 2015 or something, you could just upload random pictures and just get sales. But obviously that's really not possible now. So it's just crazy how things have changed. Yeah.
So it gave me confidence. And then I was absent for a little bit, then came back and I sold another one. Now I have like 2 or 3 sales, and each sale is like $7, and my price was $19.99. All I did was I got a design, uploaded it, put some keywords and some description, and I'm making money. And I'm like, this is where my entrepreneurship spirit kicked in. I'm like,
the realization.
Right, that realization of there's an opportunity here. If I could only scale it. But now I'm only in tier 10. I have to get to tier 25 and then 100. But I can do it. Now let me see what I can do. back in October, so October 2017, I'm still working, right? So I started actually dedicating time to Merch by Amazon, to just like, like 1 hour a day, 1 hour every couple of days, just so I can see what I can do with that. And I made like 25 sales in those 2 months. And I think by the end of the year, I was at 40 sales. I'm like, there is definitely an opportunity here. And December 2017 is when I actually gave my notice, and I left by the end of 2017. But I had already started working on Merch by Amazon a little bit. And I already had a Shopify brand, which was okay. It was nothing, like I said, to write home about. That's different from the drop shipping one. This is our own
Okay.
brand, selling
Okay.
cosmetics and stuff like that. It was profitable, but nothing like that will completely change my life. I was like, okay, I've got money, enough money to survive for at least 3 years. I've got money to buy anything I want. I'm going to take a chance here, right? I've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Okay, and there's no way with my dedication, with the effort that I put in for those companies, if I do it for myself, for my own company, for my own business, there's no way I wouldn't succeed. Yes, I accepted that there will be failures, which I know with a sales background. You know that there's going to be failures. You know that people are going to reject you. You know that your team are going to feel down, and you have to motivate them and all of that. So I am blessed that I actually chose that job, the sales job, which really, really helped me with my mindset and my focus, and having a positive attitude, and all of that, and hard work. So I decided I'm going to go full on with Merch by Amazon from January 2017. My first month, I made, I think it was $500 or something like that, and I tiered up to tier 100. And every single month, I was making at least
Yes.
50% more, and it was exponential growth.
Yeah.
And each month, discover new things, new ideas, new trends that will push you further and further. And I was tearing up once or twice, once to two times, once to twice every single month. And by the end of that year, I reached tier 8,000. But most importantly, by December 2018, which is basically a year after I first started taking it seriously, I made 18,700 something or 600 something in royalties in 1 month, which was my biggest paycheck ever prior to that point. In 1 year, I managed to change the way I was doing things, basically changed my whole perception about work. Now I know that I can work for myself. Now I know I can make decent money working for myself, because at the time, my best paycheck after tax was £5,000, which is amazing. Like, it was amazing, you know. But to do $18,000 plus 1 month on 1 month, and passively, it's not passive, right? But you can see that Amazon is doing everything for you. All you
Yeah.
have to do is just upload.
Exactly.
I saw a massive, massive opportunity. But at the same time, did I work hard for it? Yes, I worked like I said to you, like a dog. Right, like a donkey, right? In Morocco, they have donkeys like lifting stuff and working the entire day, and all they have time for is work and eating, and maybe not even sleeping. Right, this is what I was doing. I was not taking time off, because I was determined that I'm going to make it work. So people only see the success, but they don't see what you went through, in that work, and even prior to that work. So I'm giving you like the full backstory. And then 2019 started seeing some really, really good results, making 10K a month, 20K a month was not that hard at all. I would make 10, 20K, 30K a month, pretty good. I was able to buy anything I wanted, but I was not like at that, I didn't make that FU money. You know what I mean? Like that money where, I'm definitely like in that next level. I can buy anything I want. 2019 was a great year. Then I started my YouTube channel. People asked me, because I was like just, posting, what do you call it, screenshots on Facebook groups, and people were
Yeah.
like, "How did you do these results? Oh my God, what's your strategy?" and all of that. And I was like sharing my insights and my knowledge with people, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you start a YouTube channel and show us how you do it?" I started an English YouTube channel which is Mr. Adi, where we did the podcast. And then I started an Arabic channel as well, because people in Arab countries were like, "Can you please share with us how you do it, etc." So I started the English one, and then after a couple of months, started the Arabic one. The Arabic one took off, but the English one didn't, because I stopped because I couldn't do so much at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'm making sure that I'm uploading every now and again, basically every month, every couple of months. Now I'm back to it, like I upload every week, for marketing purposes, and as you know.
Yeah.
So I realized that actually YouTube was another stream of income, not only
Ad
from
revenue.
ads. Not
Yeah.
Well, actually, ad revenue is rubbish compared
Yeah.
to the potential. Like if you sell your services and a course and all of that, I realized
Yeah.
actually I
Just
can make
owning an
decent money.
audience, basically. Yeah.
Yes, having an audience that trusts you, that you give them value, and they respect you for that, and they buy your services or stuff that you promote, right? You can make money from affiliate marketing. You can make money from courses, services, whatever, right? It's your business. It's another stream of income, another business. And I didn't know that until I started that YouTube channel. I didn't see the potential until I actually started thinking of how can I monetize this. I started, looking for ways and watching courses about monetizing YouTube channels, monetizing an audience. How can you provide more value and get money from it as well? So that works really well. And then 2020 came. We know what happened in 2020, right? Everything stopped. And I was so lucky that I already had everything set up, right? Started another business on the side, capitalizing on things that were selling during that time. That worked really well. Once you get into the online space, you see money flying all over the place. You just have to catch it, right?
Yeah, it's
Now you can
crazy.
see, because now you can see what
Yeah.
works and what doesn't work. You can see what 99% of people don't see, because all they do is they go to work, come back from work, watch TV, eat, sleep, repeat. That's it. But we see different opportunities. So did that. 2021, I decided I'm not going to work hard anymore. I'm going to work smart. Now I've got more than enough money to invest in a team, to invest in things that will help me delegate my work and open up space, open up time for myself to think about the next step, the next businesses that I'm going to work on that will help me, scale even further. But around all of that time, I did many things, affiliate deals and all of that. So we're not counting those things; they're not really
Yeah.
real businesses, right? You do a partnership, you do an affiliate deal, you do this, that. Yeah, it's money coming in. It could be 1,000 a month, it could be 2,000, it could be whatever, 500. Every little helps. But I'm giving you like ideas about starting a real business. So back in 2021, like I said, I decided to start delegating and changing my way of working. I used to work like an idiot, like working so hard. That only got me to a certain level. Now I decided to invest in a team. So I got someone to help us design, because my wife was designing as well with me. She would make very, very decent illustrations. She's not a designer, but she's very artistic. But she would make amazing illustrations that you would normally pay 50 to £100 on for that illustration. And we would
Family
scale it across.
business.
Yeah, we would scale it across many, many, many niches. So you know how like back then unicorns used to do really well. So we would do
Yeah.
unicorn for Halloween, unicorn for Christmas, a unicorn
Yeah.
type for St. Patrick's Day with the hat and all of that, and then add a bit of text and boom, your design sells like crazy, right? So I decided to have a team that would help me basically upload and design, and I got one person to do ads. I started doing ads fully in 2021, but then I decided I'm going to employ someone that will look after ads completely and optimize them. And the result of that was that big month in June 2021, 107K in royalties. That was
Yeah,
the result of
107K.
investment.
Yeah,
That was the result.
that is no joke. 107K in a month. That's
And
quite
you know what?
something.
People can do more than that. Like, it
Yeah.
is possible, 100% possible. Because I can see why that happened was because we had about three trends happening at the same time. There was like a political movement. There was Juneteenth. There was Father's Day, right? And I kid you not, I had one of the like top sellers in those trends, and you know, a sub 1K BSR money is not nothing. It's a lot of money, right? When you see like the sales just keep coming fast. I did a story on many stories actually on Instagram during that time when sales were like flying. And I would sit there for a minute and you'll see the counter change in 3, 4, 5, 10 sales. It's like, I'm like, guys, come on, it's going to change. Watch. And it would change. I put that story in one of my YouTube videos, how I made 107K with like, it's all
Yeah, I think I've seen
documented.
that YouTube video, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like one of the
Yeah.
surrealist experiences, to be honest. It is possible. And then after that, I decided, okay, I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I've got a team in place. They're doing what they need to do. We're achieving great results on Merch by Amazon. What's next? What am I going to do? I'm not just going to sit here and relax and say, yeah, great. I'm just going to live like that. No, I'm an entrepreneur. I decided I'm going to, venture out to this business and completely leave my, work in corporations. I have to do something inspiring, something different. I'm going to start my tool and compete with all of these tools, especially that I know that I can do something better. I know that I can compete with them. Yes, it can take some time because developing a tool is no joke. You know, it takes planning, it takes work, it takes time to actually, develop the code and all of that. Yes, you will fail in certain things and you have to find a way. But luckily I was armed with, all of the, not the knowledge in development, because I'm going to employ developers, but the resilience and basically the skills, the attributes that made me who I am today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm going to face issues, I'm going to face problems, and I'm going to overcome them. So it took 2 years to develop the tool as we know now, Merch Dominator. Started planning it, I think, in June 2021. Right at the time when I was making a lot of money, like when I had my first biggest like amazing month, I was like, okay, next step is I need to create my tool. And that's when I started actually planning for it. And this goes to show you that taking action is the most important thing in anything. You have to take action when you have an idea. At least take it to that planning stage and then act on it. If I didn't act on the idea, we wouldn't be here. Merch Dominator wouldn't be where it is now, where people are using it and they're happy with the quality and they're happy with the, what it can provide. We wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't be discussing
Be talking,
this.
yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about Merch Dominator because it wouldn't be a thing. So taking action is so important. Looked on Upwork. Found the developers I wanted to work with, and and here we are. Merch by Amazon is still going strong. Merch Dominator is now a brand to reckon with, and got into crypto, got into real estate. And that's pretty much where we are, and that's a journey in a nutshell. I mean, it's years of 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 a journey, but that's basically the long and short of it. With so many nuances in between, so many struggles, so many issues, slept on the street in my first few days, people betrayed you, stuff happens, but yeah, you have to go through the journey.
Yeah, it's quite a journey. I mean, a lot to unpack there. Obviously, you starting out sort of climbing the corporate ladder, trying to get sales, proving everyone wrong, and then applying that knowledge to starting your own business and being successful in Amazon, which I think is really cool. Now that you've just got so many opportunities, obviously a lot of money, but like what you're doing is really cool, like helping other people and connecting with other entrepreneurs and like sharing what you've learned. I think that's really cool as well.
That's very, very
Yeah.
important, because I believe that you only get to a good level when you want people to succeed as well. And it's what brings satisfaction, because at some point, whatever money you make, it doesn't bring you any happiness anymore. It really doesn't. It does not add or take away anything from you. It just becomes a tool, right, to make your life comfortable. But then what really makes a difference is developing these nice relationships with people, right? Sharing whatever you've learned, helping people learn something new, something different, that will hopefully benefit them in the short and long term. If they can make, an income, a side income from it, that brings me so much satisfaction. When people send me DMs on Instagram, and I put them on my stories, it really fills me with joy that someone was able to make sales and basically make a side income from what I'm teaching, especially if it makes so much difference in places like Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, where they don't have a lot of income, and making $100 is a big difference. Making $500 is great. Making
Yeah.
$1,000 is living the life in those places.
Yeah, and I think,
So
like, because the purchasing power is different in every
yeah,
country.
so yeah, giving back to the community is so important. And even getting together with creators, people like yourself, Ryan Hogue, Shimi Morris, and others, it's so nice, because you can share ideas and share your experiences, and that would help other people that are aspiring to go through the same journey that you've gone through, and maybe they can benefit from certain things, maybe from your mistakes, or if they're searching for a you know a, their path, and they're not sure which path to take, maybe they can take your experience as an inspiration.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd agree with pretty much everything you said. I feel like, I've been asked a question before, which was like, why do you share what you know when you're competing with people on the same platform? And for me, I feel like it's kind of, I'm not like sharing my exact designs or telling you to copy me
Mm.
exactly. I'm just sharing like general tips that anyone could use for their business. So it's not really like, to be honest, I've only seen my income go up as I've been making more YouTube videos. Like
I
it hasn't.
agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe in God, and I believe that God helps us get more when we want good for other people. And I've seen it happen right in front of my eyes. It's what I'm living right now is a testament to what I'm saying. The more you give, the more you get. It's never going to take away from what you get. I guarantee you that. I've been sharing my journey since, or after sharing my journey, I've been sharing what I'm doing and exactly how I'm working since 2019. Has it taken away from my income? No, it hasn't,
Yeah.
because there's like hundreds of thousands of people in, for
Yeah,
example,
exactly.
Merch by Amazon, right? If they don't learn from you, they'll probably learn from someone else. They'll probably figure it out. But
Yeah.
then you wouldn't get any satisfaction. You wouldn't get any, joy from teaching people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so I feel like you've pretty much gone through everything I wanted to ask anyway. Maybe just two
You
more
want to ask
questions.
about,
So
yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so about the sort of software side of your business, obviously, like going from doing print on demand, which is, I mean, it's not really rocket science, it's just like uploading designs, to
Mm.
something like software where you have to sort of employ, like, do you have a programming background, or like
No,
how did you sort of make that transition? Because I feel like it's two very different industries.
sure. That's a very good question. So to answer it, to even start with print on demand, I didn't have a design background. Like I said, I
Yeah,
got
neither did I. Yeah.
those two designs from Fiverr, but then I had to teach myself how to design later on because I became interested in it, right? When you become interested in something, you put time aside and you learn it, right? And it's not very complicated. You don't have to learn how to do illustrations. I can't draw illustrations now, like I can't. But what I can do is I can look at a design and I say to myself, I'm going to make a better design than that. So I'm going to get different elements, put them all together, and make a better design. That I can do. I can manipulate the already existing design. I can manipulate the design elements, change bits and pieces in it, but I can't like draw it from scratch. Those kind of skills you learn. You learn how to put a stroke on a design. You learn how to put, the cutout of the words around the graphic elements and stuff. You learn how to put a texture on a design. You learn all those basic skills that you really require uh, to uh, to basically create a best-selling print-on-demand design. Now, coming to the software side of things, I really didn't have any programming background whatsoever. I just had managerial experience and I had um, ambition and drive and desire, and I had a plan. I knew exactly what I wanted in that tool. I knew exactly what makes a good tool and what doesn't make a good tool.
Yeah.
How my tool is going to stand out from the competition, right? And what the plan for the tool is, how big we're going to make it, like a very long-term vision. So I just had to get the right people to transform my vision into reality. And I had to manage them well. And I had to basically test the product constantly, be the
Hmm.
product manager, right? I didn't have a product manager experience, but I acquired it just through my tool.
Yeah.
But I managed people and I knew exactly
Right.
what was required because I don't think you really need product management experience if you really know exactly what you want. You just have to have some people management skills, and I think that's what really helped me. And
Okay.
the attitude of never giving up, the attitude
Yeah.
of keep trying until you get it. Because so many times with Merch Dominator, we achieved some results, but not exactly as I desired.
Hmm.
Either it was slow or it didn't give the correct data or whatever, right?
Mm.
And I keep going back and saying, no, I need it like this. Have you tried this? Sometimes I would actually give ideas to my developers, and the idea works. Why don't you do it this way, right? And then all they have to do is follow my suggestion or my guidance, and then put it into code. I don't know how that part. I don't know,
Yeah.
but what I do know is the algorithm of Amazon, right? That I
Yeah.
know. I know how Amazon works. I know, certain things that really give me an advantage. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So you're saying like the putting it into code thing is actually not as big a part of, like, not as
it
daunting,
is.
basically.
It
Well, yeah.
it is daunting. It is daunting, but
Okay.
you have to keep playing with it. Basically, you complement them and they complement you, right? Because they don't have your knowledge.
Yeah.
They don't have your Merch by Amazon and your Amazon knowledge and all of that. So you have to
Mm.
basically coach them on that. And if they deviate from it, you kind of uh, basically put them in the correct direction. Okay. But what you don't have is you don't have the programming skills.
Yeah.
But I've learned certain things that I benefit from, like how to read source code and how to change certain bits and pieces. And sometimes I would suggest, oh, why don't you do that? And then it works, right? But for me to create something out of nothing, I can't do that.
Yeah, we discussed on the other podcast actually, on Addy's channel, that outsourcing is like a really important part of just being able to utilize other people's talents where you can't do things, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Because think about it, if I wanted to create this software by myself, how many years would it have taken?
Yeah.
So many years to learn programming, but then you need a team of developers, not one developer. You need a front-end developer and a back-end developer, maybe a full-stack developer. You need people that will work, that will create a. I don't want to talk too much in detail, but you need basically different developers for different parts of that software, right? Because there's too many things, right? You've got UX and UI, you've got quality controller, QA, right?
Yeah.
You've got the people that work in the back end, because there's another software in the back end that nobody sees. It's the software that brings in the data, and there's many of them. There's many scripts, many softwares that work together to bring the data, and for each module, a different software is tasked with bringing in the data to that module. It's like a web of different tools working together,
like
to
front
feed,
end, back end data, basically.
The back end is much bigger than the front end. You have no idea how big it is. Like the amount of servers that we have, the amount of applications running in the back end to keep everything, working optimally with the speed, with the amount of users that we have. It's crazy. But then bit by bit, you start to learn about that side of things. Now, talking to developers for 2 years plus, you learn, trust me, you learn so many things. So it's all about starting whatever you want to start and doing it. And that doing is what teaches you. It's the doing part.
So that's pretty much all I wanted to ask. Do you have anything else that you want to add, or obviously a lot of good lessons and takeaways from that?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say that anybody who wants to start anything in life, you just have to start. That start is the hardest bit, and it's the one thing that you will never regret. But then not only starting and stopping, you have to start and continue and have it at the back of your mind that I am going to continue doing this. I'm going to have consistency, because without consistency, you can't achieve what you're looking to achieve. It will require time, and always expect to fail. Don't let failure be the thing to stop you, because failure is part of the journey. It's going to help you discover certain things about yourself. It's going to help you learn from your mistakes, learn new things that you never thought you would come across. Because trust me, you could watch all the tutorials in the world. Something will happen in your particular situation that no other tutorial has mentioned, or maybe not mentioned it in your particular situation.
Yeah,
so you have
definitely.
to learn how to adapt, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you come across this from your viewers, where they tell you, I've tried it exactly how you showed, but it didn't work for me. Right? Yeah. I come across it all the time. And then it leads them to think that what you're showing them is not real, or what you're just trying to, plug something or sell something, or you're trying to make money off of them or whatever. When in fact, they are not giving it their full attention, their full focus, their full die hard, like I would do whatever it takes to make it work. Something will not work, right? Even when you're trying to build something, the instructions are there, but then you're doing it incorrectly, or you don't have experience in building that thing you're trying to build, even with the instructions. How many times have we made mistakes? You need to admit that it's your mistake that it's not working. You have to find the reason why it's not working for you. But the thing is working. People are making sales, man. Amazon is the biggest, e-commerce platform in the world, and there's a reason behind that, because it has the most customers, because it is the most developed e-commerce platform. Does that mean that it's not working? No, it is working. It's growing every single year. You need to start working, right? You need to find a way around it.
Yeah.
And that is my biggest advice to people is don't blame others. Don't blame a particular platform. Don't blame the competition. The competition will always be there. Or there's too much competition here or there or there. Who cares, man? You need to find a way to beat that competition. Find the gap where to slot in. If I thought that I'm not going to sell my software because there's other tools out there, I'm never going to start it. But I started it with the idea that I'm going to be better than all the tools out there. I'm going to provide more value. I'm going to do things that they have not done before, or they probably have not thought of before. I'm going to do things differently. And if you go with that mindset, there's no reason why you wouldn't succeed.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's definitely like an iterative process as well. Like every time you make mistakes, it's not like you just sort of barrage forward. Like you learn something from the
Yeah,
mistake and then you change and then it just ends up sort of being what it
yeah.
is. So, yeah.
And you become very versatile.
Yeah, cool. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to ask. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. A lot of really insightful points shared. I think people will definitely take a lot away from this. And yeah, go subscribe to Mr. Addy, watch the other half of our interview on his channel, and
Yeah, check
yeah.
out my channel where we've done a really good podcast. You'll definitely learn more about Tia, maybe certain things she hasn't shared on her channel. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
check
don't
it
share
out.
much on my channel about myself actually, so
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Tia.
no
Thank you guys
worries.
for having me. Much appreciated.